Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. Today, you and I are going to be having some fun with taking a look, what's up Nate, on what's going on with the new beta. Hey, so yeah, we're actually going to be doing more beat making stuff today, but because I popped open Bitwig 6 and saw that a new beta was out, I was like, well, we probably should cover that. So we're going to go through the change log first. And then I have some quick play spells to get through, which is submissions that you can do that are 15 seconds or less, which is something that I do at the beginning of every stream. And then we'll get into the beat making stuff. But yeah, that seems interesting. Stick around and let's talk about what's going on. Yeah, those were old tracks from 2018. Actually, it was one track. But yeah, that was from back in the day. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And let's take a look at everything that's going on. And I might rely on you all for some help with some of this stuff. I don't want to sit here and try to like look at, like go back and be like, oh, they changed this. I just want to kind of be aware of it unless if something jumps out to me. But yeah. Oh, there is one improvement. So here is the change log number 2. Making a time selection can now move the play start marker in the detail editor panel. There's a new preference under dashboard settings behavior, set play start marker when selecting events, time detail editor panel. Its partner function selecting clips has become more robust as well. So sync to project, detect tempo changes, sample start clip from sample start, floating windows, follow current track. Where are we looking here? Selecting clips. Okay, so that's already on. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Those two try, yeah. All right, fixed a case where projects couldn't be saved in beta 1. I'm glad that's fixed. Notes are now selectable in all cases. Not sure what they mean by that one. Some older projects templates now load again. Pinning the quantize to key action no longer doubles it after restarting the application. Recording launcher clips with pre-roll no longer starts other clips out of time. Automation detail editor clip mode now provides visual feedback while creating an initial point. Automation detail editor clip mode now provides visual feedback while creating an initial point. Control drag, command drag on points still allows fine editing, but no longer disables time snapping. When editing transpose and formant expressions, now disable the value grid instead of shift. Single click on a flat segment no longer inserts 2 points. Automation can be deleted by double click at smaller lane heights. Nudging arranger clips, Alt left and Alt right now uses automation lock status. Fixed height mismatch between audio lane expression ruler and content. Points in expression overlay mode are now painted better and faster. Duplicating time selected notes no longer erases overwrites unselected notes in other lanes. Knife and eraser tools now work throughout a launcher clip, not just a loop region. Knife tool now works notes when in track context. Time selection navigation now works correctly in the detail editor panel. Clip stretch mouse interaction now works with automation clips following. Control Alt Arranger now works again where the modifier is held before. Yes, this is a big one for me because this modifier was this was messed up on my end. Dragging a mixture of clips and automation clips of different lengths now previews correctly. Clips can be removed even after doing a time selection on the arranger ruler. I think this was another big one that people were complaining about. Clicking in the detail editor panel below the time ruler in the track no longer resets the zoom and playback settings. Duplicating a time selection from automation clip now works. Dragging a clip to the timeline no longer suddenly erroneously makes it appear on the master track. Duplicating a master group track now duplicates its contents. Default height of automation lane now displays the full parameter path of all scaling factors. Minimum scene width no longer truncates clip content. Fixed long audio lane titles not fitting on screen and how that broke the GUI. Better visual distinction between active and inactive groups. Dragging an audio file to a track header loads it into a sampler device. Shift dragging multiple audio files into a drum machine properly layers them. Dragging from a browser panel to replace a device works. That's good. A scene header can be dragged into another scene in order to move or copy scene contents. Files copied to the clipboard can now be pasted. Fix some data source conversions to be more robust. Application no longer freezes when selecting audio input or output for devices to have at least 1024 ports. Fix crash when moving an arranger automation event beyond existing points. Yeah, I think that the only thing that I'm looking for on this one is hold it takes, copying automation, stretch mouse interaction. This was one that actually within audio, rather, this actually caused a few crashes. When bouncing a mixed selection of launcher and automation clips, fix crash when opening old projects. Set clip start action when dragging a part of raw audio into a device panel. When deleting shortcuts. When erasing beat markers. Exporting MIDI file. Renaming an audio event. Recording notes in the arranger loop. When opening a specific project. So, yeah, this is just beta 2. Hey, Michael, what's up? So I think that the big one for me is if we go into here and we go into a loop. If I do this. Ah, yes. Yes. That was that was my biggest gripe with well, it was one of my biggest gripes. The other thing that has not been changed or regressed is the automation. So there still is no automation latching. Say here, you still have to go to this and go to the gain or whatever, or you can click control. I have my keyboard shortcut set to control A in order to do that, but all right, that's I can get past that. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, so those are the changes. I think that was the other major one. They fixed this. That's weird. Yeah, sometimes within this, you can... This is now capping at 32. It used to go to 64. But I guess it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I mean, this is probably the biggest resolution that I need here is something like this. But that is strange why they would take that away. Even still, I think that hopefully this is functional. I remember that there was a plugin that I was trying to use as well. Does anybody remember what plugin that was that I tried to pull up? I think it was Life. Let me see if this still crashes. Well, crashing at least. Oh, okay, cool. But my audio crashed. Or did it? No, we still have sound on the computer. Device is no longer responding. Okay. Let's try the other Life. Maybe VST2? Okay, so VST3 stuff is broken right now. Stream froze for a sec. Yeah, it's I tried to upload the VST3 version of Life and it crashed on me. Or uh the audio crashed rather, and that created a jump, but that seems to be working. I think what happens if I do this? Okay, there's the snapping. Yeah, this is still it's still a bit much, but you can always hold shift. Control. Shift. There you go. You can still hold shift and move stuff where you want it to like that, which is nice. Not the end of the world. Was there anything else that you all noticed that they changed that or that you want me to take a look at? Or maybe something that crashed that we can give this a test and see what it does. Because I think for the most part, oh shit. I think for the most part that's it. Those are my two things. And if any of you use a QWERTY keyboard, something that I did that can be super helpful is in shortcuts. Control A is the toggle automation mode. If you don't use the QWERTY for no input, then you can just, continue to use A, but I do that as the toggle. And it's just something to get used to. It's not my favorite, not my first choice, but at the same time, if I want to automate something, rather than just opening up the latch or whatever, I can just grab this and go Control A and then do my automation and then get out of it. So it's not that big of a deal. It still would be nice if there was a way to turn off lane stacking to where it was just one at a time, because I don't want to fill out every time I open up automation to like go to everything popping up. I'd rather it just be one lane at a time and then it replaces. But I'm starting to suspect that they're not going to bring the latching back, which doesn't make sense to me, but especially if you have a Bitwig Connect. But what can you say? All right, so on to business. We've got some quick play spells to get through. I guess you've got a couple of seconds to submit. Can you check and see if the spray can tool or right click erases notes when in the drum and hybrid view? Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me get through this now first. But you all can join the Discord if you like. There's the everyday quick play spells, and we'll get through this. I think Fudge is where we left. Or sorry, this was the last one we played last time. That is way too happy for me, but it's charming. Yeah. Okay. Apologies for going over, went ham on recent advice. I don't remember what the advice was, to be honest. What was the advice? Yeah, I was going to give pink advice on this, and I figured that I might as well just do it here. What I would recommend with this for trying to create like realistic, let's just say snares, is instead of having combs run in serial, have them run in parallel. Use a long delay that's really short and create a feedback chain. and mix that into your original signal. And then you can use just a tiny amount of distortion along with a low pass, high pass to modify the resonance. And there's a sweet spot with it, but if you do that, then it will give you that kind of like more airy timbre for getting that kind of realistic sound. It finally clicked. Yuck. Okay. Yeah, this is more along the lines of where you want to be. It needs to be that push and pull, you know. It seems like you really took the advice from listening to that copycat track, and the timing and the phrasing of this is a lot stronger. So, good stuff. All right, so we needed to check to see if we have a clip. We have the spray can. So if I do this, but then I hold right click. Yeah, that seems to be working now, right? Is that what you were looking for? I think if we hold Command, Shift, Option. Spray Kizzle. Right click. Yeah, I think this is working as intended now. I think something else to check would be to see if the stepper or the footsteps is working properly now. So footsteps is still not working properly. You're supposed to, like, you should be able to move over a step if you hit the arrow, right? The navigational tools, as far as I know, are not working. Or am I doing something wrong? I don't think I am. Okay, so shift works. But what is this doing? Oh, okay, so option. Or alt. Okay, so this is working as intended. I thought that you just could hit an arrow key. This is nice. And with the adaptive grid, kind of like so, you can get kind of finer resolutions of the stepper. So maybe that was my mistake. Maybe maybe this was working as intended, but I don't know. I could have sworn that it was just with the arrow keys, because what are the arrow keys supposed to be doing on this anyways? I guess just that's strange. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? That's so command jumps to the end of the bar, control does nothing. Shift highlights stuff. But what does the selection do? It just selects to move? Okay, so that okay, yeah. I see. So if I wanted to, I could do this. Oh, you still have to use the mouse. And then also, you can nudge stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if we use the scroll on this. Okay, I was trying to see if there was any integration with the Bitwig Connect to be able to scroll on that, but it doesn't look like that is a possibility. Bummer. Bummer. Let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on, which I don't know if we're going to get to this today, but I am so excited because Oxy One sent me a gift after a very long time of discussing stuff. And when I am through creating a bunch of content for the Hay Packs, I need to get through this bad boy, which is a brand spanking new Oxy Mark II. Oxy One instrument Mark II. Oxy, double the Oxy, twice the fun, Mark Dizzle, crazy sizzle, what it dizzle. Isn't that insane? Thank you. Thank you to Scorp. Thank you to Oxy Instruments. They're the first company to actually send me something that's like a long-term loan. Actually, that's not true. Bitwig is. Actually, that's not true. Oh my God. What is the name of that super cool MPE controller that we had a long time ago? The thing with the faceplates? They were the first person to send me something. And that thing was sick. And that actually helped me. That led me to building the patches that I do today. But why can I not? Stencil Morph. Yeah, Stencil was the first person. So I haven't had very many companies send me gear. So it's always a treat. And, you know, it's doesn't matter if it's big or small. But yeah, thank you guys. That's so cool. With that being said, we are sticking with the Hay Packs for now. But it does not mean that we will not be getting down and dirty. With that being said, though, okay, I just wanted to make sure that we have a signal. Hey, Danny, what's up? And I think I'm just going to throw the analog heat on here. And what we're doing today is a slightly different routing. So instead of this going directly into the interface, into the analog heat, and I'll probably just keep the mix off for now, but I kind of wanted to do like some neurobase stuff with this at some point, which I thought would be pretty cool. I was like, why don't I hear anything? It's because this is on mute. I still don't hear anything. Do you all hear anything? No, because it's not responding anymore. Hey, Split, what's up? Now I hear stuff. Cool. So, do we want to make a sound first or... Ah, shit, sorry. Do we want to do drums first? I'm dealing with linear algebra because the TalkBox VST I'm making. Right on. That was nice. Man, like, I gotta say, like, this synth sounds so much better when it's actually in stereo. Hey, Cornith. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing? It's interesting that the stretch mode now, when you pitch something down, is... Yeah, we just went over the change logs of that. Which I thought was pretty cool. Set this into repitch mode. Sick. Stoked to listen to the playback once it's up. Hello, I'm very interested about Bitwig. Does it have retrospective MIDI capture? No, it does not. But there's a free VST called MIDI Cap that you can use and save that as a template. I really like this. We'll probably do something later with it in another project or whatever. Find something else on here. Yeah, I'm also working on kind of a pack like this to where I'm just kind of taking out random shit from hardware. And going to be putting it out with these riffs and stuff. And the biggest challenge of that is I don't know how I'm going to label this in keys and all that, even with the what is this stupid thing that I have? It's not stupid, but I'm calling it stupid because I can't remember the name. Sononym. Hey Fudge, what's up, bro? It's a nice dark little pad. We can add some over to this. We can add fuse compressor. And something happened to the audio. What happened? Device is not responding. Retry, retry, retry. At least it's not crashing, you know? There we go. You know I love my Lorne sounds. I have an hour video on how compression works that you can check out. Ooh, that little doo-doo is pretty sick. I really like this. Maybe we can stay here for a second. I can do some other stuff with this. I love rolling sampler. This is the best thing ever. Maybe I can get some glide in here. That might be kind of nice. Pitch. Master. Voices. Levels. Pitch. Glide. On. You can add just a little bit of compression on this. Turn the bass boost on. Hey, Stern, what's up, dude? Yeah, with the little speaker thing? Is that what you mean? That's a pretty neat riff. Pressing space to play from the time selection. Oh, that's new since beta 2? No, this was always a thing. You could do this since 5. You just had to make sure that the blue thing was... Oh, that's... Never mind. Okay, so the feature has been changed from having to do it up here to just being able to click on here. That is really nifty. Yeah, because this did not used to be a thing. Or rather, what you had to do was, there's the little blue thing. Yeah, it's easier. There's this little blue thing, but you had to click on the timeline up here to make that play. Yeah, I really like that. There's probably a lot that we could do with this, to be honest. Kind of just a simple riff, but we can... Uh-oh. Audio is going to go out again. At least it's not crashing, though. It's just shutting the device off and then turning itself back on. Turn that off for a minute. We're going to go to track 2 on this and hold this down. USB device, channel 2. Channel 2. This is plugged in, right? It's also not firing MIDI again. Let's try channel 3. So I was having this issue on beta 1 where sometimes I would do this and it would not work. Because I know that this is what it's supposed to be. If I can't get it to work, it's not the end of the world, but that would be nice because this is kind of what I've been driving, getting MIDI in here with. But now the audio isn't coming out of that. Oh, that's because I turned that off. Duh. Let me make sure that this controller is set in here. Hey, Pax. Yeah. Refresh. Synchronization. Is anybody else having trouble with getting MIDI to send through this? Curious to know. Oh, now I'm not getting... Oh, okay. All right. No big deal. Dang, that was cool. Um, I I don't think so. Not that I know of. There might be a way. I can't think of it off the top of my head though. Tequila. I know, right? I'm a terrible person for that, but whatever. That's pretty cool. Just the super vibrato on that. That could still be useful too. Just kind of like building out a sound kit with all this stuff. Even this stuff is useful. Just the pitch bends and stuff. Cool. So, now that we have that, we can turn this back on. That's pretty dope. I definitely need to save this patch as a favorite just because this lead is so fucking sick. Let me see what this is even. So it's a saw wave, a square wave, and a resonator. And then on the effects here, we've got just chorus and reverb. No digiformer. Filter 2. Other filters off. Yeah, this is a really good patch. I like that quite a bit. Let's see what else we got. This is the first time that I've been able to play with the Iridium Core in stereo, and so it's been really nice. Yeah. We will be doing a... Hey, Ryan. We will be doing a comparison between the Oxy 1 Mark 1, Mark 2, and the Haypax. I'm just not ready to do it yet. Is this just super quiet, or seems like it? Okay. Are you asking me if I prefer the Hapax or the Oxy? Hapax, yeah. I can't really make a recommendation yet. Um, I'm still learning the Hapax. Well, I'm still like, I've learned all the features and know how to navigate it and all that, but I'm still learning about like its integration with the workflow and all that. Um, I think what it really comes down to is, do you like having a big device that has its own piano roll in it, and every sequencer between the 32 different ones that it has is multiple steps? Or do you want a smaller form factor to where you still have a 32 track sequencer, but the multi-track can only play one note at a time, but it's portable, but it has a battery? Aside from that, the idea generation and all that other stuff, like, they have some unique features, but it's all kind of like, it's not really like one is better than the other in that department. The one thing that I will say that stands out for the Oxy instead of the Hapax is that you can change the beat division much easier, but this has warping as well that kind of acts differently than the divisions. This also has some unique effects. So like they both have unique approaches to like getting notes in and all that. I think that this is easier to play. That's probably my biggest thing, is that this is actually easier to like play notes on and stuff because the pads are bigger. But you'll just have to wait for my review. Like, I actually, what I can do is, let me see. Oh, I need to make a video about this. Actually, I probably shouldn't make a video about this based off of my recent experience with shit. I probably won't make a video about that, but somebody else can. Shake my head. So, Oxy 1. Small form factor, portable battery, stochastic, matricial mode, smaller micro timing. This might just be an opinion, by the way, because I actually had a conversation with Scorp Instruments about that. They said that they have the most accurate that you can possibly get as far as technology offers, but the division goes by 2% instead of 1%. So I don't know. This has beat divisions, the chord harmonize, 4 macros, USB-C. The Mark 1, this is the Mark 1, by the way. I haven't even tried the Oxy Mark 2 yet. You can get a used one for like $500. Small screen is a con. It can be difficult to navigate and move notes around. like transposition. So you have to go into the, you have to use the division. Is it the division? Yeah, you have to use the division button and go into moving to scroll the piano roll. And sometimes that navigation can be kind of awkward. You can accidentally clear your pattern in song mode. I've done that plenty of times and I've been like, oh my God, what just happened? But yeah, the Hapax has 2 screens, larger box, bigger buttons. It's got some unique effects. Some notable ones are the shaper. So if I go here to the effects, the shaper on this is pretty sick. You've got like a wave shaper, but for notes. Yeah, it's got some other cool stuff too. Like, I haven't figured out registry yet. I need to go back and watch the video on that. But it also has built-in automation, which is pretty nuts. So like, if you go to the effects, or sorry, if you go to automation, you can add a source, whatever you want. Let's say pitch bend. Then on here, you can actually create automation on this, which that's crazy. So yeah, all in all, there's just like different things that kind of go into play with what your needs and desires and what you're interested in goes into. Yeah, there's some unique algorithms. The drum mode is really sick because it will automatically label tracks for you that you can do something kind of like parameter locking, which I don't know if you can do that on the Oxy One or not. Yeah, the sequencer's true to 32. Like it's an actual 32 track sequencer that runs in poly mode. There's chord display. So if you're playing chords in the scale mode, it'll tell you what you're playing if you push 3 notes or less. It's got 8 macros instead of 4. It's got the automation mode. It has dedicated MIDI and TRS input where Oxy only has the TRS. And there's a snapshot button, which is dope. Yeah, the buttons feel easier to play. The downsides, buggy, no divisions. I haven't ran into the CPU cap, but there's a CPU display on here, and I'm kind of wondering if I max that out, if that's going to like blow up on me or something. Not really, but you know what I mean. Some effects seem kind of redundant or like a normal feature that you would find in another sequencer, so I was kind of like, that's all right. But between both, frequent updates, both have micro timing, both have 32 track sequencing, which the Oxy One has, or the Mark II has 64. But if every single one of these are in drum mode, then you can essentially multiply that by 8. So this still has more quote unquote like dedicated sequencers built into it. Instrument profiles, from both of them, random generators, scales. They both have a fugue machine built in, swing and humanize. We have time bending, copy paste features, Euclidean sequencer, project saving and storing, MIDI pattern recall, patterns, song modes, color swatches, all that. So that's where I'm at on this. And as you can see, the Oxy 2, we're just going to call it the Oxy 2, I have not opened yet. It's right here, but I haven't had the chance to mess with it, so I am not able to talk about the features that offers in comparison. And when I do this video, I'm not going to say you should buy this one or this one. I'm just going to give you all of the information and let you make a decision off of what you want to do. Woo! So, yeah. Want to grab one in the process of finishing my studio setup, and I'm definitely going to hop on some lessons with you and a few other musicians that really inspire me. Yeah, you should. Well, with whoever, right? But you totally should. I think that it's, anytime I do a lesson with somebody, it's always inspiring. Even if it's just one. I love the way you create, so I figured one of these tools would be fun to learn with you. Yeah, now is a good time because, well, I'm pretty well versed within the Mark I of the Oxy One instruments, but it all has a similar workflow. And have you seen the video that I posted on the Hapax workflow, which, if any of you have any interest in what I've been doing today, please do me a favor and just go skim through the video. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I feel so bad, and maybe the video sucks, which is, that's a separate conversation. But if you all get the chance, please give this video a shot. Hold on one second. This is the starting a track with the Hapax sequencer or whatever. And the reason why I want people to take a look at this isn't because I'm like, oh, it's just doing shitty. That is part of it, full transparency. But the thing about it is that I take you through how to start here, both with drums and with musicality, and get to a beat by the end of the video that's uncut. And I think that stuff like that is really helpful because it gives you the right mindset on how to understand your relationship with new devices, whether it be hardware or a new plugin or whatever, and kind of like helps you take the pressure off of being like, yo, I need a new studio centerpiece. There's another video that I have coming out soon that talks about that more in depth. But yeah, if you get the chance, save that to your watch later. Let me know what you all think. And if the video sucks, let me know as well. That's totally fine too. But I don't think that's the case for this. In any case, while we're here, this is kind of a repeat of what we're doing as this is my workflow, right? But generally speaking, I like to use sequencers or tools is what we call it to just gather sounds. And when I have sounds that I like or whatever, then I start building my drums, then I start trying to get patterns out of it. But it's kind of like the moment to moment of I'm in here and I'm going to get a melody. All right, now I'm going to abuse the sequence and the melody. Then I'm going to maybe like try to find some harmony with it and add some more stuff. So a little bit of sound design, a little bit of actual compositional things, get everything to audio, which is another video that I need to do about why I get stuff to audio. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into this process of how I work. And if anybody has questions, that's what the chat's for. I'm pretty good about reading chat usually, unless if I start getting like really into what I'm doing. But yeah, for the most part, get in there. Speaking of, I think that I'm ready for some drums. Are we ready to do drums? I think we're ready for drums. Are you ready for drums? Each time I do this, I try something a little bit different. So grab an EQ. Need my guide here to help me out with this. Let's grab fuse compressor. There we go. Sounds a little flabby still, but we'll fix that here in a second. Cool. Trying to get this out of the way. Okay, let's give it some color. Okay, let's go mid side. Let's find a hat. Let's go distortion. Let's go bit crusher. And we got ourselves a nice little kickaroony. Hey, David, what's up? Now let's get into... I think I want to do like a stick hit. The more I've watched the Big 6 content, the more I want to try it out. It's the same time good with Ableton. It's the only thing I hate is how buggy and crashy it is. It's valid. There's a lot to like about Ableton. I just yeah, I just kind of prefer Bitwig now though. It's crashed again. Just give it a sec. It's okay that it, like the audio is crashing as long as as long as the project doesn't blow up on me. I'm kind of curious if I set a segments to this, because something that I've always wanted more out of my rim shots is more of a crackling sound. So I am curious if I move this just a bit like this. That does seem, I think that does give it just a little bit more texture. How many times did I have to 3 months? 3 months was the conversion. Yeah. I like that. You all are getting a master class on rim shots right now. Actually, drums in general. But I do this almost every stream. I will say, if anybody's interested, I have uh, so many master classes on my memberships and also some courses on my website for how to make drums and various things. Yeah, that's nice. We're gonna keep going with this though and keep building off of it. That sounds so good, dude. Um, Yeah, that sounds sick. Also, my latest Be on stream is so cool. Thanks, man. I don't even. Which one? Was I doing it with Bitwig 6? Oh, I do that every project. I'm sorry. I do that on everything. Let's try a loud split. See what that does. Wednesday? Gotcha. I probably will go back and finish that. Okay, so now... No, we'll just take that. That sounds good to me. Rim shots. I'm going to actually save this. Rim shot. What's the date today? September 5th. 2025. Got some good stuff in there. Nice. Good transients. Let's build a snare. We're going to go for a metallic one on this. Yeah, I've done a couple live shows, but ironically, my last job was Cirque du Soleil. So I've done more live performance like that as an acrobat than as a DJ. But I'm going to level with you all. I don't get DJing. I think like it's just one of those things that I respect it, you know. I don't have anything against anybody, whatever, but I just don't get it, man. I've got some music production through DJing. I I don't even know how to describe what I want to say about that. I don't even know if it's that I don't get the appeal. It's that like I just don't understand the philosophy behind like I don't know why this is so confusing and hard to describe. Um, you're mixing music, right? Which I get. So I don't understand like the approach in the modern day. I understand the approach back then to where like you were really doing like down and dirty live mixing to where like you're playing 2 or 3 songs at once, maybe doing scratching, something like that. But in today's day and age, like a lot of the shows that I've been to, Zayaku is an exception. Love you, bro. Um, People will play like 8 bars of a track and then just switch to another one and then just switch to another one and then you know what I mean? It's like I I don't really get what I don't really get what it means to put on a good show other than does the crowd like it? And the spectrum gamut of skill sets of me curating a just a template or like just curating a playlist or whatever inside of Bitwig versus somebody that's like, okay, cue up next song, beat sync, match it over, you know, even with like transitions and stuff, right? Because like I can just curate those. So yeah, I don't understand DJing. And please forgive me. I know that there's probably at least a few DJs out there with Nova included, but I mean no disrespect. Yeah, it's just not my thing. I'm sorry. DJing seems like recording clip automations before a crowd. That's a good way to put it. Oops. Wait, what's going on here? Okay. Transient. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Fundamental. White noise. Clap layer. See it as a celebration of music, dig into the crowd who is as well. Cool tracks and a big sound system and something else. Yeah, like the presence of it is 100%, but the role as a DJ, you know, that's kind of where I'm like, wait, what? The other thing too is that like I also have a really large uncomfortability of like I feel like I'm not doing enough on stage. But you also have to realize like I came from like I'm flipping over here, now I'm running over here, now I'm climbing on top of something and jumping off of some shit and you know what I mean, doing cartwheels down the lane and doing character work and I never had lines, but I had voiceover lines. So I had to act that out when I did like Iron Fist and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It's like the work aspect of the stage presence, I can't really like shake that out because whenever I'm actually just doing DJing, you know what I mean? It's like next song. All right. Yay. I'd be good at juggling records. beat juggling like the X-Men crew. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's they have physical moves in between juggling. Being a DJ to me was playing music other people liked. I found that making music I like is much more rewarding. Yeah, it's like, to me, this is my show. Like, I'm doing this live and making stuff and having conversations with chat. I'm actually trying to, make something that we can all enjoy, a loop or whatever. And even though it's not like, 20 people in a crowd or whatever that I'm trying to like put stuff up on, it's like I do this 4 times a week. I like this better because I'm still making tracks, you know? And the number one thing that I've heard everyone talk about when it comes into playing shows and stuff is that they are like, I don't have any time to make music anymore. And I don't want to be in that position. There's two things that I need to like have time for in my life, and that is I need to be able to train flips and martial arts physical, and I need to have time to make music. I could give up gaming. Obviously, like I need time for my partner and stuff, but if her and I weren't together, you know what I mean? It would be I need time to train, I need time to make music. And I'm kind of under that philosophy that time and health is your greatest wealth. But yeah, what can you say? So, do I want to do this? Should I try to make a metallic sound through the effects grid, or should I just do it through the devices? I think I'm just gonna do it through the devices, to be honest. Is there another effect selector? Yeah, that works. Base Plant 3? Oh man. plead the fifth. Sorry. Yeah, what I would like to see is hot swapping modulators. So like being able to right click and then switch it out for like instead of having an LFO, I could right click and then hot swap for like, you know, I don't know, envelope or a random or something. Like that would be huge for someone like me. Other than that, I don't really know. Like I think like most of the things that I want aren't even like audio tools. It's just like yeah, workflow enhancements. There we go. Now we're getting a little bit more physical. Sorry I'm going so slow, everyone. I apologize. Usually I'm like flying through this, but I'm also just like... No. I don't know. I didn't even try Zebra-Let 3. I think DJs nowadays just play tracks with fades with them, but I think a good DJ is more than that. You have to read the crowd and also mix tracks creatively. I don't go out enough. You know what I mean? Like I don't go to shows enough to formulate an opinion, and that's why I just say like I just don't get it. If that makes sense. Where are my acoustic snares at? Would I go to LA recording school to become certified engineer? And how many students of LA recording school were I friends with? Wait, what? Can you... Wait. Huh? Sorry, what? Answer the question. If I only have one VST synth available outside of Faceplant, what would I choose and why? Probably Serum too. I think that's the next best one. I just don't like the timbre of this. I could have sworn that I bounced out. No, didn't I bounce out some Superior Drummer snares?
Huh? Ah, to be young again.
SD. Let's try that. There we go. I was like, where was this? Yeah, probably Serum too. I mean, it's probably the next best thing. I don't know. Like at this point, I'm a lot more invested in effects than I am in synths. Shut up. The only reason why I bought this was because I have so many effects. But I think that the big thing with it is, I don't know, like, I guess if I'm now looking back, if I'm not using Phase Planet, the thing that I use the most is Polymer. Because I make drums with Polymer pretty much every track these days. Unless if I do it with, like, Foley. And then everything else is just kind of like Phase Plant. I don't know. I have been using this since I got it, but I've only had this for like, what, a week? So that doesn't really count. Armor. I actually don't know Harmor that well. Which effect plugins is under look in music production? Like, what am I looking at picking up soon? Nothing. I've got everything I need. I'm really trying to, like, not spend any more money on anything right now. Regarding the question about the music school, no, I wouldn't go to LA recording music school. I don't have any reason to. What I would do is I would just hit your favorite producer up and offer them money for lessons. Harmor alarm. Harm alarm. Cool. That sounds pretty nice. Well, whenever it phases correctly. Now we just need some stereo on this, so... Sorry. Just being silly. Never seen the I'm using Riff plugin. I don't like it. I don't actually. It's not my favorite. I love other minimal audio stuff, but Rift isn't it for me. Just sounds too digital. Still go for trash too. Oh, that's a snare. Did it cause a rift in your relationship with minimal audio? Nah. They I'm doing okay with them. Still on good terms with them. As far as I know. So that's how you make a metallic snare. I found out that Rift is go-to for most D&B producers. Stop. Who fucking told you that? Because none of the D&B producers that I know ever touch Rift. Which, to be fair, I don't have it like that. I don't have all of that insider information or whatever, but the ones that I talk to or used to talk to or have gotten into contact with or whatever, I've watched their streams. Like who? I'm actually curious. Like, that's not me trying to put you on the spot, but who's a popular D&B streamer that you watch that uses Rift a lot? Cheese on there? I mean, he might, but I never, like, any of the times that I've hung out with him, I don't ever see him use it. But it's been a while since we've had a chat and stuff too, so yeah. Like, also keep in mind, like, Rift came out a long time ago, and I imagine that when she released that statement, it was probably when it first came out. Like, I wonder I wonder if he was using Bitwig by the time that happened. I feel it's a bit changed to label X plugin as a go-to for a certain genre. Fistages, two swords, coherent, clinical. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Am I going to put that snare I just made in the special folder? Define special. Like in a sample pack? Hi, baby. What's going on? Why are you just jumping on me assuming that it's okay to just do the things? Hi, sweetie. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face of content and happiness. Saved folder for later use. I mean, it's in rolling sampler, but what I usually do. Can I have kiss? Kisses? Okay, get down, sweet girl. So, the way that I make sample packs is pretty much whatever I make in tracks all goes into this. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just distortion. I agree with that. So what I do is anything that it's like, oh, this is cool, whatever, you know what I mean? I'll throw into Sononym. Ah, she just got one, like an hour ago. So yeah, all this stuff, and then I just like take the best stuff and then put that into a sample pack. But the sample pack isn't just for you, it's also for me. So like, I just released Insidium not too long ago, but you know, I've got all these snares and shit. But that's like also my use for later. And I don't like really hold back on anything. I just put it all together and I give it out. Yeah, because I don't know, I don't know, do something cool with my shit. I don't give a fuck. Let's get some hats in here. Dude, these are good. These are good today. Yeah. I agree. But I mean, that's part of my creative process is like I just like making stuff. And to be honest with you, while I'm doing sound design like this is where I can be most engaged with chat because I can work on a sound or whatever and still talk. It's I know I don't know if you know this or not, but like it's usually when I start working on a track like hardcore that I stop talking. So while I'm doing this, I'm just like having fun and, you know, making content and making things that hopefully, you know, you all can either learn something from or just enjoy the sounds or whatever. But like when I actually get into the beat making process, I tend to shut up and I'm like, please chat, please take over and talk for me so that way I can focus on whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Hard to know sometimes when being too nitpicky is slowing down the creative flow. Well, it's been a while since I've made... Do I even have a template? July 18th, 2025. Yeah, I do have a template. I just don't remember what I did on this. Inside. Effects layer. Comb. Yeah, so pretty much the same process, ironically. I also have this other metal snare template, and that's kind of why I did that, because I feel like I haven't made something like that in a while. Where, like, when I was really keen on making just drums every day for the drum pack, I was also doing it for another project that I was working on for a commission from, oh shit, I can't talk about that from what it is, but it was just a drum project. Um, yeah, it's metal snare. This isn't the best one, but I have this new kind of like template thing of what I do now with delays. Delays and resonators. So that's what I should have done, because this will get you where you want to be. Like, see that sound here with this? So I'm basically using the comb filters to... I should probably do it more like this, where it's just 3. So 2 comb filters and a delay. And then the whatever. But this is kind of just like a beginning fundamental point on that of how to get what I'm looking for. But the other thing too is that now that I have this, I can make metallic snares because there's an additive engine within that, which is pretty nuts. And you can have up to 6 layers on this. So in theory, like, making drums on this shit should be, and I've already made a couple. Oh wow, I can just click that and my favorites will come up. That's cool. So, I mean, yeah, that's not too bad. Just need to pull back off of the decay a bit. Like, for just a starting point with this, like, if I even went into... So this is going through the analog heat, but if I were to do something like the same processing over that, say I just copy pasted, this might sound insane. Yeah, it's a bit much. I'd have to go back and treat it and do it individually on its own, but even still, you know, it's a great starting point. Like, it still has metallic timbres to it, and because of that, I think part of that is from the partials. Oh, is that the only thing that's doing that? Oh, this is all partials. Wow. Crazy. So, yeah, this is all just the partial engine. On the mix here, there's nothing else that's going on, so... Is there anything happening on this? Oscillator 2. Oscillator 3. Yeah, just noise. So, I'm still working on it, but there's a lot of stuff within that I'll be kind of trying to pull out and work with. Let's save this. And the other thing that I was working on was the grid patches and stuff, but I haven't come up with any new ideas yet. where I'm like, yo, I want to have this included. What happened to this? Why does that sound completely different now? Oh, that's why. I was like, what? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, even just small manipulation like that. Change that into other stuff, kind of like so. I could have sworn that I had a much easier way to do this before I started doing the comb filter trick. Maybe it was just convolution, so where I just took a convolve snare and just like sent it through that, and that was good enough. But I don't know. I've really been trying to find like different ways to come up with more metallic resonances and stuff. Yeah, like one other trick that I have is like setting up an actual feedback system on here, but it's kind of cumbersome. I know I said we were going to do beats today. I'm sorry. We're kind of in the midst of something will come out at some point, but what we can do is we can grab an effect layer. So we'll actually just go audio receiver. We're going to group this. Go like this. And on this one, we're going to go layer out. Go delay plus. And on this layer, we're going to go audio receiver. We might not actually need that audio receiver, but I feel like there was a reason why I put another one in here. Instrument layer chains, effect layer chains, audio receiver, delay plus out. And so now this is going to be taking the audio from the delay out. And maybe what we want to do is just this instead. So now we do have a feedback system on this. And what's cool is we can start to manipulate resonances, but you have to be really careful with this. So that's why. Isn't that cool though? So what we would do is we would take that and create another layer over that. And then we can mix that in. And then now if we were to take that through all of the other processing and stuff, hell, even just this. And then we can go back and manipulate this to whatever we want. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This is low-key way easier to set up. I should just do that instead. Instead of the crazy comb filter thing. But the reason why I did this approach in the first place was because hi. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of talking so that way I can hold her for a minute. Come on, there you go. Nope, I got you. Lay down, down. So the whole reason why I please don't no, not my expensive equipment. Thank you, thank you. Why I was trying to figure this stuff out in the first place is one, somebody actually made a tutorial on physical modeling for snares and stuff that I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. And I think it got really popular over YouTube a while ago, like what, a year ago? And so I was trying to figure out how to do it within Phase Plant, and I couldn't really figure it out. So what I did was I started creating custom comb filters along with delay that had its own sense of feedback, and started mixing in parallel feedbacks into itself to try to create basically, you know, a resonator. And then after watching that video a couple more times, I was like, wait, I can do this in Bitwig, because you can just set this routing system like we have here into itself. I think that one interesting piece about this, and that's why I wish that an EQ was added to the grid, was for stuff like this, because you can just create, actually, let's see if we can do that. I'm going to see if she is going to let me work on the computer before she starts licking me. Because if I don't give her attention... Yep, there it is. All right, we're going to do this with one hand. If I stop giving her attention, she's like, nope, that hand belongs to me. This is my hand. You're so needy. Why are you so needy, huh? Huh? Why are you so needy? You're a good puppy, though. She's getting better. She was... she doesn't like other dogs. She's pretty, like, reactive. Thank you for sharing, making your sound packs. The sounds are top-notch. They do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that, you know, my shit is valuable. I always wonder about that. Yeah, she's like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? And is it the subject about FOOD? Sorry, guys. So if we put a long delay in here, and then we have blend, then we put this here and push this into itself. In between this system on this, with this feedback chain, this is kind of what I was talking about with wanting to have an EQ, because if I did, you could create custom comb filters and send this signal into itself to be able to create the same metallic kind of timbres that we were discussing from before. Something that you can do is you can do this. And I don't know what this is going to sound like, but yeah, so you can kind of get an interesting sound like that. Sorry. Yeah, that kind of works. What you would do, though, is you would pull the mix down. Hi. Now I'm curious, if I take the pitch of this, is that... Okay, there we go. Here you go. Here's your free tutorial on I'll update this on the masterclass, but there you go. So I don't have to do the whole crazy fucking stack thing anymore. I can just do this. Which, Little Pink, are you in here by chance? I'm gonna send this to him because he wasn't asking me. I actually offered to give him unsolicited advice on coming up with physical modeled snares and stuff. But yeah, cool. So there's that. Okay. So my lecture is over. Can I get you to get down now? Hmm? Hey, can I get you to get down and maybe go investigate what mom is doing? You want to go see what mom is doing? Okay, hold on. Wait. Please relax. Thank you. She's just begging to crush my nuts. Hi. You have another one? Okay, love you. Holy shit, it's already 4 o'clock. I guess we're not doing beats today. I have like an hour to throw something together. But we did do lots of cool little designs and stuff. I think maybe that's something that we can get into is I will start just coming up with riffs and ideas and see if I can find a hook or whatever. But does anybody have any questions on anything that I did so far or any other points of discussion that you want to talk about? What I might do for this segment, actually, which could be kind of cool. Hey, no, get down. She's like, please, Dad, you don't understand. I've been by myself forever. Please. Ooh, she might actually need to go OUT, but I took her out before I went live. It's only been a couple hours. And also, you went dookie. So what's wrong with you? I also gave you plenty of SNACKS. If I give you too much of that, then you're going to get fat. And right now, you're super buff. You're more buff than Dad. I want you to stay buff. Yeah, it's almost like pulling up. Almost every single plugin that I pull up will crash the engine, but yeah, at least it's not. It's very quiet. I like that. Okay. No, Jersey. Get down. Yeah, dude, that's cool.
Recording to logbook.
Thanks, Leonardo. I appreciate the follow. Cool. So we'll probably just work off of that, to be honest. So there was a group in here somewhere. Group 4. Nothing on here. White noise. Snares. Hats. Percussion. Stretch. Sorry. See, now I'm not talking because now I'm actually making beats. Still kind of hard to access the fades. But I'll get used to it. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Just trying stuff now. That's a pretty cool riff. It might be cool to do like this here. And then maybe something like this, like so that's in G. No. No, that was right. Why is this playing a different note? What? Does anybody else notice that? Whenever I hit play, this is playing something different. Oh, I wonder if it's because... No, that can't be, because this can't lock to scale. Yeah, it's not playing the same thing. D2 minor Phrygian. The scale is on. D2 minor Phrygian. What the fuck? Okay, well... Yeah, if I hit play, it completely transposes to something else. This is coming from the Iridium, by the way, which it sounds pretty damn good. Probably just take some of that from Rolling Sampler, to be honest. Just see if any of that's interesting. Is there a step? Is there a sequence on here, maybe? No. Nothing is being changed to that. That's really weird. Yeah, like even if we just took that, let's see what that sounds like. Even just that little push forward right here is like such a big deal with what controls the groove. Like, I feel like I could make a whole video about this. This thing right here in relation to what it begins with the first bar, like such a precedence with the nature of the beat. But did you all notice like how much of a change that kind of actually gave that a little bit more energy? curious if we do a frequency split on this. Actually, what if we did a harmonic split on this? No. Okay, we're fine. Maybe. You know what the cool thing about hardware is? I didn't lose any progress with this sound, which is a preset. But if I would have made this patch and then, you know what I mean, whatever, I would have been pretty hot. But, I mean, thankfully this pulled the project back. What's most likely, or what most likely happened is that this everything, though. Which would suck. Caved in a bit. Alright, let's assess the damage. Thankfully there's not... Oh, well, shit. Anything on here that... Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Looks good. Alright. Heck yeah, Bitwig. Fuck yeah. Crashes are to be expected, so, you know, there is that, but... I'm just glad that not everything was just totally wrecked. Alright, we can place this inside of the drums. Open the drums. I want another synth on top of this. Maybe a notch filter or something first. That's interesting. Curious as to if this even has like good low end in it. It sounds cool, but I can't get this to mix right with the way that I want it to be. So what I'm doing now is maybe trying to see if I can introduce just small amounts of silence on this, so that way the bass can get a break. Let's see if that creates a little bit more space. Yeah, I don't like that. I like the other version better. Thanks, James. It's interesting. I can't really get it to stick out as much as I want it to. Get down. Yeah, is it just too dirty or like what? It just doesn't it doesn't feel strong enough to stand on its own like interest for the sound. So that's kind of why I was trying to work that out so much. But let's try something else. Yeah, like why is this carrying pitch? This is no longer sending MIDI. Wonder if it's broken. Yeah, this keeps changing the pitch of this. It's so weird. Can I get that to do it again without the drums? Wait. Where was the analog heat? It shouldn't even matter, actually. Where... What the fuck? Still has that issue where deleting a clip or note when it's playing leaves the synth stuck on that note. Yeah, that shit drives me crazy. The audio crash? some reason the filter's not working on this. The fuck? Resonance. Oh, maybe it's just that this has such a big delay on it that... There we go. Okay. That was really cool, actually. I might want to take that. Take that. Rewind it back. I like the diode distortion in Serum was having trouble finding a good diode VST, but D16 Devastator is promising. Discult good for tryout and more complex distortion. You mean Distube? Why don't you use the Filter Plus distortion? Hey, Numicron. Do you not like this one? Oh, you didn't know it was a thing? Yeah, sick. Yeah, for sure. This is a base stab. Oh. It's that ring mod sidechain. Just Does anybody have any questions about anything so far? I do need to go soon, but filter diode sounds pretty good. 16 has more anti-aliasing options, multi-band, and nice sounding filters, but most of that can be replaced in Bitwig. Yeah, that's an option. But I don't know. For the most part, I just try to use more Bitwig stuff. Am I still using Drembo app for the iPad? Yeah. Have I ever tried BeatHawk before by UVI? How would I compare it to Drembo? I've looked at BeatHawk, but I don't really feel like it's got. That just seems like a drum sequencer. Like I'd probably rather use Koala Sampler. Personally. Do have Synthmaster 2 as well. I don't like it. I prefer ButterSynth for any of that stuff. Because it actually has a wavetable that you can design on your own. agree. I would use the iPad a lot more if they released a companion Bitwig app. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's basically Serum, but for iPad, and it's dirt cheap. So it's kind of like, you don't have much to lose, if anything, on it. But my thing is, it's a little bit buggy, and I don't like the effects on it. I also don't really like the workflow. The quality of the sound itself is okay, but it's not my favorite. But what I really like it for is that it has a wavetable designer. So it kind of takes care of all of your needs for, you know, if you want to make wavetables inside of it, and then, what's it called? Make wavetables inside of it, and then put it in another synth or something, or in Drambo. So you can drag an automation clip into curves, flip it, and move it back to invert. You can freely drag a curve into automation lanes. I guess, yeah, that's one thing you could totally do. I knew that you could drag it into curves, but I didn't know that you could, but I didn't know that you can drag it back out. That's pretty cool. Oh shit, I gotta run. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. I need to have a snack and brush my teeth and get ready to go play cards. But I had a lot of fun today, as you can tell. I totally lost track of time when we actually started throwing an idea together. Thanks everybody, I appreciate it. If you like my sounds, alckemy.com, book a lesson, or liking the video. If I could ask you all again to do me a favor, can you go check out this beat making video that I did? Very quickly, I'll leave it in the chat, assuming that this will load. Give this video a shot. I think that it's worth taking a look at, even if you skim through it. But if you could like the video, maybe advertise that a little bit more. Not advertise it, but, you know, if you like what I did today, but it's more streamlined, I threw a beat together, used the hey packs to sequence an idea, all that stuff. So that would be really helpful to me, if nothing else. But yeah, thanks everybody. Jersey says, thank you as well. Right, baby? right? And we'll be back tomorrow, probably doing the same thing, or maybe I'll take a look at the Oxy 1 Mark II. I've got so much stuff to learn and to play with that it's just it's kind of cool because it's a bit overwhelming, but as of now I've just been having fun sketching ideas and, you know, trying to whittle my way closer to finding this happy place with music and stuff. But anyways, much love, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye. Say bye, Jersey. Bye, everybody.